In a previous video, I had talked about what I was going to be reading and studying for this month. And I also talked about how it's kind of been a bit of a time of anxiety and some things going on for me. But I have been able to keep up with a lot of what I told you in that video. So I'm just kind of following up with that. I've been keeping up with my NASB reading. Not so good with the NLT chronological Bible reading. I need to get back into that more. And I read the book by Charlie Kirk that I had showed you. I think it was Stop in the Name of God. Yeah, about the Sabbath day. I did finish that. And then I said I was going to start a study. And I had like two different options. And the one I decided on was Revelation. This is from the Daily Grace Code, the End of Time and the Eternal King. So I just wanted to do a kind of study with me video. I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to show you like what I would do if I was having a typical study time. So I'm just starting this. I am a little behind with this too, but that's okay. So whatever, like I said before, you can't do everything every day. At least I can't. So keeping it real here. I'm starting this now though. And the two study Bibles that I chose to use with this study, for now, we all know I like my study Bibles. Probably going to change it up later. That's fine. For now, I decided I'm going to use these two study Bibles. Ironically, I didn't realize this until I put them down. I was like, oh, they're both New King James Version. They're both from Thomas Nelson. So shout out Thomas Nelson for having some great study Bibles. So we have the Evangelical Study Bible and we have the Enduring Word Study Bible. So let's open this up here. Okay, so at the beginning, I'm going to go through my study introduction, and then there's some like bonus material in here. There's a sample reading schedule for week 1. So like day 1 be Revelation 1 to 4, day 2 5 to 11, day 3 12 to 17, day 4 8 to 22. Obviously, it's a sample. I may or may not be able to do all that in a week, but we'll see. Okay, so week 1, day 1 is called Genre and Author. So it's talking about who's the author of Revelation, who's of course John, and what is the genre of Revelation, which it's an apocalyptic book. So it talks all about that. And there's not a whole lot of scripture reading in this. This is kind of just introducing it. And then there's 3 application questions. So reflect on your past experience with Revelation. What do you know about this book? Have you read it before? Have you heard it taught? Yes, I have. I have read it before. I have studied it before. But it's a very full book. There's always more to learn. All right, number 2, what is most intimidating to you as you prepare to study this book? What do you look forward to the most? And number 3, the book of Revelation engages in both foretelling, speaking to what will happen in the future, and forthtelling, speaking the truth about present realities. How can this view of both our current age and the age to come encourage you in your faith? Okay, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, because this is like the introduction week where you're just reading through the whole book, just to kind of get used to, get a broad overview of the book as you study through the first week. So, of course, I'm going to still use my study Bibles, but when I am going to pull them out even more is, let's go to, I think it's week 2 where they start giving you specific readings to do. Okay, so week 2 is called the 7 letters. You have a memory verse for each week. And then, yes, this is where I would start pulling out my study Bibles to dig deeper. So it says, read Revelation 1, 4 to 8. So I would do that. I would probably do that in like one of my just text Bibles first. And I'd probably also make it in a different translation besides the New King James Version, just for comparison purposes, because I like to do that. So I would grab a Bible like, maybe my ESV large print personal size, or maybe an NLT giant print compact, or one of those Bibles that's just text. I'll read that, and then I would come back, read through this, and then I'm going to, at some point, I'll probably do my application questions last. So I would read this, and then I'm going to go into my study Bible. So what did I say? Revelation 1, 4 to 8. So I'm going to go in here in my Evangelical Study Bible. I should have marked the spot, but Revelation, we know, is towards the end of the Bible, so it shouldn't take me too long to find. All right, so Revelation, here we are, and then 1, 4 to 8. Okay, so here we go. So we are starting here with the greetings of the 7 churches. I love the Evangelical Study Bible because it has nice large font, large print, so for a study Bible anyway. So that's really nice. It's easy to read. That New King James Version comfort print's really easy to read. So I would read that scripture, starts about here, goes over to here, and then as for study notes, they start here for 4 to 8, and they go to about here. Yeah, right there. So not an overabundance, but it's nice. There's also cross references here in the center column if I wanted to utilize those as well. So I would look up that, read all that. And then I'm going to also look at the notes in my Enduring Word Study Bible. And like I said before, I might switch it up and do like different translations. I just really like these 2 study Bibles. They happen to both be New King James Version, but I may grab another, like my CSB Study Bible, my ESV Study Bible, NIV Application Bible. There's lots of choices. So I probably will do that at some point. But for now, just to show you what I would do here with these 2. In Revelation, here we go. So I'm in the Enduring Word Study Bible now. So here is Revelation 1, chapter 4, goes up through 8. And then down here are my study notes. They start here with 1:4 and go to the bottom of the page and a little bit onto the next page for 1:8. Okay, so not again, like pages upon pages, not like a commentary that has like pages upon pages of notes, but it's a good amount of study notes. And if I use, 2 to 3 study Bibles, it'll just depending on how much time I have, it will give me a lot of depth there as well. This one also has a pastoral application note about Revelation 1:5. It says, God first loved his people, then washed them. God loved us while we were stained by sin, and he loved us so much that he washed us. In a sense, washing proves love. If something you really love is dirty, you don't throw it away, you wash it. Receive his great love for you and rest in it today. So that's nice, a little kind of like devotional thought there. I love these 2 study Bibles. They're both so good. And there's other ones too that are really awesome that are in different translations as well. But I just happened to grab both of these today. So that is what I would do for my typical study time. So I would do my Bible reading in the NASB/LSB. I've been throwing that in there too. So, and then I would do my study time like I just showed you. I would read my verses for the day, probably in an all-text Bible. I would read the study notes, and I would also read the scripture again if it's in a different translation in my study Bibles, and then I would go into the book and do the reading for the day and the application questions. So obviously you can do it however you want, but that's just one way that it can be done, and that is probably how I will study through the book of Revelation. This one may take me a while. I like that it's not a lot to read from the book, but I can make it more in-depth depending on the day. I can grab more than one study Bible. I can compare different translations. So it's good for the season that I'm in right now because some days are going to be better study days than others, so I can go into more depth, or I can just use one Bible that day and just do it that way. So whatever works for you, and for me it's going to be different depending on the day, but I think this is going to be a great way for me to study Revelation. So I'd love to hear what you're studying right now, if you've done this book or like these study Bibles, or if you have other studies and study Bibles that you'd like to tell me about. Always love to hear what everyone's using.